These are the Sony the Sony WH-1000 XM4s, there we go. So I don't bite off what's left of my tongue, I'll just call these the XM4s for the rest of the video. Now that the XM5s are out, I think it's time to take a look at these in 2022, plus they're cheaper than they have ever been. I now have a system for reviewing headphones on this channel, and I've separated it into different categories, which include build quality, the price, the sound quality, the battery life, noise cancellation, and the integration. Integration being how well it works on platforms like Android, iOS, macOS, Windows. Now that introduction is out of the way, let's get into the video. The build quality of these is actually good enough. It's made of plastic, which makes sense for headphones that are designed to provide comfort. I would have appreciated if it had some metal highlights or accents on the body parts to make them look a lot more premium, but that's just my personal nitpick. I'm coming to the price later on, but for the price you get, the build quality is actually great. Some creaking can be heard when you stretch the headphones, which might annoy you to an extent, but it doesn't really annoy me that much. The headphones do stretch quite a bit, and the only way these wouldn't fit your head is if your head had the same circumference of an exercise ball. So for those of you who have unusually large heads, this will still fit you as long as it's not as large as this. The headband has enough foam to stop you from feeling the hard plastic sitting on your head. This is something I found to be worse on the XM5s, as the padding on the headband is not as much as the XM4s. But that's just a personal thing. If you have a lot of hair, if you have medium amount of hair, you wouldn't really feel it. The ear cups are large enough to fit my ears, but I do wish it was a bit bigger. I have tried the ones on the XM5s and they're a bit bigger than the XM4s, and I do feel the improvement on that one. I would like it for my ears to just sit nicely in the ear cups, which is something that's a positive for the AirPods Max, because the ear cups are so massive, your ears just sit in them and they're closer to the drivers, so the music sounds a lot more full. There's a USB-C port, which is convenient because I have more USB-C chargers than lightning chargers. There's a dedicated power button, which is something Apple didn't think about when making the AirPods Max. There's also the custom button, which can be used for switching between noise cancellation, ambient mode, and off mode. Off mode being neither being enabled. The right ear cup can be used for gesture controls. Double tap to play and pause, swipe up to increase the volume, and swipe down to decrease the volume. You can cover the right ear cup to quickly enter transparency mode and hear people around you, and if you hold down 2 fingers on the right ear cup, you activate speak to chat, which will automatically pause the music and enter transparency mode once you start speaking. All these actually work. I thought they were just going to be gimmicks, but they actually do work, which is actually surprising. And these actually fold. For some reason, the XM5s don't fold, which is a huge letdown. They go back into the case the exact same way they stay on your head, which is not the smartest move, to be quite honest. Speaking of the case, you actually get a proper case like the AirPods Max, which come with a silicone cloth. The case is actually hard and can protect us from damage. The headphones are plastic, so they aren't as durable as the AirPods Maxes, but I feel like the AirPods Maxes actually need a case more than these do to an extent, because these are made of metal, and if they fall on the floor, they will have a dent or a chip, which will be permanently there because it's made of metal. The price is one of the positives for these headphones. You can get these for as low as $210, which is probably the steal of the year. If you can find these for less, then you should definitely get them. And to be honest, with the starting price of $350, the XM5s don't seem so appealing at the moment. These headphones sound really good, especially because you can adjust the EQ to fit your right taste. I always have mine on a custom, which I set up myself. I set the bass to be even higher than the bass boost, but I just like being able to tweak my music to suit what I like. There's nothing really much to say about sound quality except for it's really good. The instrumental separation is pretty good. You can hear the subtle instruments as well as the loud instruments, and even when you turn the volume up to a maximum, there aren't any distortions. The noise cancelling is pretty good, but the XM5s have better noise cancelling. But once you start playing music, you can barely hear anything. You can't actually hear anything once the music goes past 50%. So for this, the noise cancelling is plenty enough. I usually use these for the hour-and-a-half bus ride back to school on Sunday and back home on Fridays, and it does a very good job. I don't hear the bus as well as the people on the bus. You get 30 hours of listening with noise cancellation turned on and 38 hours with noise cancelling turned off, or to be honest, who's not using noise cancelling? This usually lasts me over a week before I have to charge it again. This means you cannot finish this in a day because, first of all, only 24 hours in a day. But if you can kill this in 2 days, props to you, but you got some issues. So how well does it integrate with devices? And the answer is, again, pretty well. The app is available for both Android and iOS. The only difference is you get the pop-up for the Android phones, but you don't get it for the iPhones. It doesn't sound any different across any of the platforms. It's not designed to appeal to just one category of users. Apple. You can also pair it up to 3 devices at once, which is the sort of thing that AirPods do when they switch between your iPhone, iPad, and Mac. But this one, you can do it with an iPhone and an Android phone and a MacBook. So is there actually anything I dislike about these headphones? Because it seems like I just love them so much. But for the price, the problems I have are just nitpicks at the moment. I don't like the slight creaking I hear when I stretch the headphones to put them on my head. I wish the ear cups were a bit larger, and I wish the noise cancelling was slightly better, but this isn't really much of a complaint here. If you have one of these, good for you. If you have one of the XM5s, good for you. Hopefully soon I'll put these up against the XM5s and the AirPods Maxes when I can afford those in the next 5 years.